So in the first scene, you actually see that Regina is on the phone and Dalanda is just standing there. And Regina is on the phone, and I suppose it's with Lala. What she's saying is that the case is at the prosecutor's office and that she has to avoid contact with him, and I suppose it's about Cher and also close family and friends. You just take care of yourself and the children, and I'll take care of everything else. And then she hangs up. Dalanda looks at her and she's like impressed, and she's like, oh wow, what was that about? Your face, it's up to no good, and whose life are you going to ruin this time? And then Regina, she's like, no, this guy, I'm so hungry for him, I want to eat him alive. And on top of all that, this is a type of guy who thinks that the country has no laws and that nobody can touch him. They changed the subject, and Regina's asking Dalanda, so what's up? And Dalanda's like, what? And then they talk about her situation with Tairu, because apparently I think that Regina is still somewhere hoping, or would have expected, for Dalanda to actually go through with the divorce. However, in this scene, we all find out that that is not the case at all. What's so crazy about this case is that, about this scene, is that they actually go a lot of back and forth about her original standpoint, Dalanda's original standpoint, where she said that she wants to divorce Tairu. That's what Regina's standpoint is right now, because I think that Regina is just a bit disappointed in Dalanda because she wants to stay. And it's really clear from this scene that Dalanda is not planning on divorcing Tairu. And what is said in this scene is mostly that Dalanda's point is more that, you know what, I'm not the first nor the last woman to have been cheated on, however, still decided to forgive her husband to make the marriage work. That's her standpoint. However, Regina's standpoint is that this new you thing, it's not you at all, because at one point Dalanda is even saying to Regina that, you know what, I actually have to go because I need to make food for my husband. And Regina's like choking because she's like, sorry, but this is not you. You have never been that type of woman. And with that type of woman, she means the type like Lala. Because as I said before, Lala is the type of woman, if she could, she would chew Cher's food for him so that he only needed to swallow. And that's not the type of woman that Dalanda has been, because I see Dalanda as this modern Western woman, and they even call her Tubab a lot, especially men. And it's more that she has been always working. Yes, she had kids, but she doesn't have a lot of time with the kids, you know? So that's what caught Regina off guard when she said that I need to go see my husband and actually make him food. And another point that Regina makes is that, you know what? I think that these people, they used black magic on you, and that's why you are like this. That's why you have changed. And Dalanda is adamant that that's not the case, that Regina should not think that, because Regina went to school. So she shouldn't believe in that kind of stuff. So that was that scene. And at the end, whenever Dalanda walks out, Regina is still shocked because she's like, am I hallucinating? And she just doesn't even, she cannot even make any sense of it. Then there's a scene with an unknown man and Lala, and he's expressing to her that, you know what, I know you're mad, however, you should know that I'm always the last to be in the known. And after a while, you find out that this man is actually working at the TV station. However, he did not get the whole scandal that went on when Noura called. But Lala is adamant she is done with the television channel work. She does not want to work anymore. She wants to stay, and she expresses that she has been through a lot of shame and that she does not want to work anymore because the man is telling her that, you know what, a lot of companies want to work with you. You have gotten a bit famous about everything, and I want you back. Lala does not want to come back to work, and at the end he gives her a check. And the check is for 5 million sefa, and don't let that fool you because that is not even $10,000. At the end of that scene, Biram comes in. Then it's a crazy scene. You have Ben at one side and Regina at the other side, and it's like a standoff. Regina is just accusing Ben and her family to have worked on Dalanda. And Ben is just like saying that no, because Dalanda, can't you see she's happy? She has her man, he takes care of her, she's in it, she wants this. However, Regina is like, no, you guys worked on her and this is not who she is. She's even saying to Ben that, you know what, if this is the real Dalanda, then just get rid of the black magic and we'll see how she'll react. And Ben is like, no, because this is her. This is her own choice. And don't act like we have kidnapped her, shackled her, beaten her up, put her here against her own will. This is what she wants. So don't act like it's something totally different. And of course, Ben has to be a bit mean to Regina, because she's saying that, you know what, if you had a man like Taihu who would take care of you, who would do all these things to you like the way that Taihu is taking care of Dalanda, then you would not be here because you would want that for her too. And Regina, she's just like, that's not what I want. I just know that you guys worked on her, but you should not forget that at the end of the story, whenever you guys are done with her, I would be the person to support her, to be there for her, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. And at the end of that discussion, it's like Regina's telling Ben that, you know what, whatever goes around comes around, and at the end of this story, karma is going to get you. Then the scene between Lala and Biram continues, and Biram wants to know if the hand is what Cher did to Lala. It's none of your business unless you are trying to make it worse. And Biram is like, no, I'm a changed man. I do not want to fight and be petty anymore. And I just came here in peace and I just want to talk to you. However, Lala is also is changed as well, because she's like, I don't want to hear anything about Cher and me, Lala PM Jang. I have left all of that behind me, and I do not want to hear anything about Cher wanting to take the kids again, and I just want to have peace and live with my little family. And Biram is like pleading for Cher's case, because he's like, yeah, but you have to understand, he wants to see his kids and you have to have a little pity on him. And she's like, pity on who? On Cher? Never. I'm not his wife anymore. I am not his girlfriend either, so I do not have to have pity on him either. And then Biram is talking about, how could you have put my mom in the middle of this? You know, she loves you more than she loves any of us. And it's just like, it's a mess. And Lala's like, you know what, you are going on and on and on about all of this, and you know what I want to know? You guys are trying to kill me right now, and you guys should know that at the end of this story, your family, y'all, is gonna cry. But there's one thing I want you to know, big sis. We are Jangs. And if you touch us, you know we're gonna feel it. In the sense of like, if you do something to us, we're gonna know. However, we're not gonna sit there and let it happen. So talk to your pillow at night so you know how to act. So Dalanda gives mommy a present for the baby, and she's saying, I didn't know what color to pick, but I settled on this one, and actually we should get together, do some shopping for the baby. However, mommy's demeanor changes and she puts the present on the side and she just stares blankly in front of her. And Dalanda's just trying to talk some sense into her. She's like, yeah, you should do some effort, and you know, we'll get him, he will pay for what he did to you, but you need to be strong, and this and that, and it seems like you're in denial. And then mommy's like, yeah, well, I'm not the first nor the last person to give birth to a baby without its father present. So this is where I thought that the present actually came from Siaka, because I was like, so Siaka gave you this present, however you do not want him to come back into your life anymore. However, the present is from Dalanda, from Dalanda, from Dalanda. Don't be like me overthinking, okay? So it's from Dalanda, and Dalanda is trying to tell her that, you know what, it seems like you're in denial, and she seems to be in denial about the baby because she did not want to go baby shopping and everything. And for Dalanda, it may even have seemed like mommy was disappointed that Siaka was not in prison yet, for example. And mommy is just trying to explain that, you know what, I just don't want to be overworked, overstressed, and then eventually lose this baby. And mommy's also saying that, you know what, Siaka already said that he does not want to have any part in this, so that is not going to keep me from eating, living, drinking, and just living life. And I think that all in all, they come to the conclusion that they are grateful for each other. Like, especially mommy, she's saying that, you know what, I'm so thankful for you, and I cannot wait for this little baby to have an auntie like you, because Dalanda also said that your child is going to have an amazing mom. So cute. And I will always be here for you, because mommy thanked her for being there for her. And then Tairu comes in. Tairu comes in and he literally says, hi ma'am. And at this point, I understood that scene with Djalika perfectly, because this is the reason why he doesn't like mommy, I think, because she has this information about him that she can just put on the table at any given moment. Dalanda stands up. She tells mommy, just make yourself at home, get comfortable, I'll be right back. Then she goes to see Tairu, and it's literally the same scene as Djalika and Tairu had about mommy. And Dalanda's like, can you just, you know, do an effort? Like, is it a bad thing that I invited her here? You should know that I need someone to talk to. I know she's a client, however, we have gotten a little close and we're both getting a baby, so I just need someone to talk to. And he's like, no, I have no problem, but you should be careful, because friendships between women, there's always something that's going to happen, and I don't want her to ruin our marriage. Already victim blaming. Tairu, I really hope that Dalanda is smart. However, it's like the same scene with Djalika. She's saying that, you know what, just come and join us and we'll talk. It's gonna be awkward. Then there's another crazy scene, because it's the company setting again, and the new girl, Anita, she wants to make some big changes, and one of the changes is getting rid of employees, and mostly employees who do not bring in money. And secondly, she wants to get rid of office spaces, I think. And of course it's like the same scene we had in the previous episode, because Mansoura is like, oh hell no, I'm keeping my office, we're not going to do that. And Biram is like, girl, why are you doing this? Why are you acting jealous and this and that? And then Mansoura just leaves. Biram goes after her and they get like in a discussion, and Mansoura's point is like, yeah, and why do you let her disrespect me? Since we have going out publicly, you have not even shown me that we are together and that I am your woman and that people need to respect me. And I was like, sis, weren't you that whole independent woman thing? Because this seems like someone who is codependent or something, and it's a whole mess. And at the end, Mansoura is telling Biram that, you know what, I'm done with you because you don't know how to take the responsibility that goes with your role. And I think that she's even talking about professional wise. Then there's a scene with Lala and her friend, and they're just gossiping ish about Lala's situation with her hand. The friend is expressing that, you know what, I only heard about this, however I did not know it was real, so she came here. And they start talking about Philly. And Lala's making one thing clear, that, you know what, at least Philly, she was a loyal friend. She was a friend that would not put my business out there. And however, at the end, other people put my business out there and they started talking about our marriage. And now because of like the evil eye, now we have a divorce. And she's also saying that, you know what, people were maybe looking jealously at me and Cher and our relationship. However, Philly was very loyal to her and did not put her business out there. And the woman is like saying that, yeah, but you know, this is not what I came here for. Because the woman, she was also talking about, yeah, and after your divorce you look really sexy, and just implying that, you know, she is hunting for another man. However, Lala put her right at the stop and she was like, no, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for my family. I just need to move on with my life. And at the end, Lala is saying that, you know what, I have been prepared all my life for, you know, getting married, and I have done my duty as a wife, and I accomplished everything as a wife. However, the divorce was very unexpected, and also that she was not trained for divorce. And I think that makes a lot of sense, because in Senegal, culturally, marriage is really important, and people are always being trained, especially women, about what they should do in a marriage, especially muñ, sutural, masla, and stuff like that. So it's all about being discreet, honest. But as women, we have another task, and that is to basically suffer and to accept that suffering. And they make it as if it's a part of marriage. So it's always talk about being married does not come without suffering, but especially for a wife, because we all know that men would not even go through half of the ish that they put us through, and that's on periods. And there's a scene with the new woman at work, Anita and her mom, Aminta, I think. And the mom is like complaining that, yeah, where's your husband? And it has been X, Y, and Z amount of years, and I still haven't seen any grandchildren. You can see on her that she is a bit shocked that her mom brings it up, but also sad, because also her husband is like in the other room and he can probably hear about this, and the mom just expresses that she does not care. She has a lot of, you know, friends with grandchildren. She wants to be called a grandmother too, and she's just really pressuring the child. And at one point the husband comes in, and I knew that it was going to be Hamid. And the mom is actually attacking Hamid and saying that, yeah, and if you would do your duty as a husband, I would be called a grandmother, which is also wrong. You don't do that to people. You cannot come into people's house demanding grandkids. Do they even want to be a father? Does your child even want to be a mom? Like, those are the questions you need to ask. Anyway, so Hamid goes back into his room. His wife comes to see and check up on him. And at one point I actually thought that he would be like violent, that he would be like, tell your mom to go home. And he didn't. He was just like lying sad on that bed, and she really, you know, consoled him, and I thought that that was really cute. However, don't forget the scene in the pool where Mansoura was like, don't get too attached because we need to get rid of her as well. But what I forgot to say almost was that Aminta was saying that she has a friend who has divorced. She has a friend who has a son who is divorced. However, he has 2 children, and she's trying to set her daughter up with Biram. However, don't forget that this woman wants Pagay. So then that means that Biram and her daughter would have the same stepfather, Pagay. And that is also too messy. She cannot put her daughter with Biram and also decide that she wants to be with Pagay. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess. Then the scene with Lala and her friend continues. Sheikh comes in and he's just like screaming, and they're actually fighting. The point that Sheikh makes is that he just wants his children. Lala is like, no, I will not give them to you. And the friend is like sneaky, calling the cops, and then they come and they take Sheikh away. That was it for this episode, and thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at Senegalese Twisted, and I'm so curious about the agenda of Anita's mom, because I want to know, does she want a husband for her daughter, or does she want a husband for herself? Because she cannot do both, because that is just too messy. Also, I want to know if Hamid really loves Anita, or that he's just playing the game that he and Mansoura put together. And yeah, I'm just so curious about a lot of things. I really want Djalika and Dalanda to actually meet, or that Djalika's mom sees Tairu somewhere with Dalanda. That would be so great as well. But it would also be really awkward if there is a scene where mommy would be with either Dalanda or Djalika and they would meet the other person, because that would be so awkward. Because if, oh my god, I can go on and on and on and on and on about what ifs. Let's just wait for Friday, and I'll see you guys in my next video.